Well, welcome back, blade lovers. This old sword with you. And this is a guessing game today. Certainly you can tell it's a Microtech box. I apologize in advance if at any point during this video I say Microsoft instead of Microtech, as I've been in the tech industry for 25 years. And when I begin to say micro something, then I finish it Microsoft. All right, but Microtech, a knife company, a very fine knife company. I'm going to call this, and I've hesitated to do so in the past, a GRAIL knife. By the way, I'm going to talk for just a little bit leading up to this. So for you guys that get anxious, find that fast forward button. However, you might miss some valuable information. But bear with me. This is a special knife for me. It was acquired very much by surprise. Been looking for one for years. Seemed to be always out of production and out of reach. There's a lot of other people looking for it too, and apparently it's a GRAIL knife for a number of us, especially if you're Microtech people. Okay, so you might have guessed what it is. I showed up on Thursday Night Knives, Bob DeMarco's show, a couple nights ago with this very same and kind of waved it under his nose because he's been looking for one too. So here we go. Let's unbox. After all, I'm actually under 2 minutes into it, so that's pretty good. It's a very nice manual they give us. Yes, I'm blocking the blade. That's what you get with your Microtech knife. And there it is, in all its splendor. The Borka designed, Marfione design collaboration stitch. A fantastic auto, full size, full weight, massive construction, built like a tank. Here we go. Drum roll, please. See if I can put a drum roll in there somewhere. And there's a spring that'll almost pull it out of your hand. Look at that baby. A very unusual, they're calling it a Wharncliffe design on Blade HQ. Maybe I'll need to go along with that. So this is not the apocalyptic finish, which is very highly sought after as well. This is the stonewash finish, and they do a very nice stonewash. This is number 6449, built in March 2021. So very new, very recently produced, and that was just last month from when I'm recording this. The blade is M390. They've used a number of steels on these. I understand it depends upon the production run. They may be running M390 for one. They may be running a CTS. They may be running, I'm not sure what else. I think they did some LMAX. I'm not sure. I know they use LMAX in some of their other knives. Take a gander at that beauty. And I'm going to do some comparisons with some other auto knives in a little bit. But courtesy of Blade HQ, let's run you down some specs. A little more background. Well, they're not telling me anything more than what you're going to see here. But it is a Borka and Tony Marfione designed knife. And it's based on an original custom. I believe that hole is vestigial. They left it there from a manual version of the knife from Borka. Overall length is 8.5 inches. You wouldn't think so by the girth and the height of the thing, that it's even that short. Blade length of 3.75, cutting edge of 3 inches because of the sizable choil. Bowler M390. They're calling it a Wharncliffe. Okay, I'll go along with that. It's hollow grind, which is interesting. It looks flat ground, but we'll check that out a little further in a minute. Stonewash, handle length 5 inches, handle thickness 0.62, aluminum alloy handle. It's coated black. Exactly with what? I believe it's anodized of some sort. The weight is a hefty 6.32 ounces. Right hand tip up carry only. Automatic push button, plunge lock. And the designer Anthony Marfione and Sebastian Berengi. I believe that is who Borka is. Considered to be an everyday carry, although sees a lot of military and tactical use amongst buyers. While I'm thinking of it, the clip's interesting. The type of clips that Microtech uses are these double scalloped, for lack of a better term, clips. So you can push it into your pocket up to that point to have it readily accessible with a full thumb grab, or you can push it in all the way up to here. Not too many people point this out as to why that dimple, that little wrinkle, is in the clip. But I'm told that is the purpose behind it. We've got steel here. No, that may be aluminum. If you know, and I don't, let me know. Either aluminum or titanium. As far as I know, they're not using titanium in this knife. Blade is perfectly centered. I think since the handle scales, the body is aluminum, that would make sense for that to be aluminum as well. A really neat checkered release button. There you can see the mechanism inside. I'll hold it shut while I press that. You can see the block that's holding that blade in place, and a very strong spring, which means it's going to open positively every time, even if you get a little gunk down in there. And here's what they're calling a hollow ground blade. I think it's flat, but since it doesn't ride up too high, could be that it is a little bit of a hollow grind. Personally, I can't tell with my thumb or with my eye. I'd have to look at it very, very carefully in the right light, or just trust Blade HQ that they're correct. There are maker marks all over it, as with most Microtech knives, but they're very grayed out and faint. And you can see that this is the specific model, the Stitch A. You'll see some knockoffs of these from China. Believe me, they're nothing like this knife, and it is theft of intellectual property. And I don't recommend getting your hands on any of those. The hole is nicely chamfered. Bearded Gear, in his review of this knife, said some people had mentioned to him that the reason they left the hole there is if for some reason the spring fails, that you can push the button and flick it out with the middle finger or open it with two hands. I'm not sure. I think it's a design thing. But look at the ramp you have for your thumb here. You have your hand locked onto this knife, and you've got this effective spear point for lots of interesting work. You have an amazingly sharp M390 edge. It's just a razor blade. That edge does not need any work. I wouldn't touch it, and I'm told, although it may not be 100% true, that sharpening the blade voids the warranty on a Microtech. I don't know. And I know certainly if you were to break it down, take it apart, that would void your warranty. They're very picky about that. So, not sure what the turnaround is for repairs, but I do have a couple other Microtechs. I have a fixed blade crosshair that I did a review on, and I also have the Dirac out the front, small out the front knife, which I did a review on. So those are my 3 Microtechs. Let's do some comparisons. Here we have the Benchmade had to stop the video to look. Senior moment. The Bedlam. The Auto Bedlam by Benchmade. Yes, it's a giant knife. It is going to be bigger even than the Stitch, although the Stitch is a higher knife, taller knife by far. Lots of top to bottom real estate, but not nearly as long a handle as the Bedlam, and shorter blade than the Bedlam, which is a full 4 inches. By the way, auto axis knives, if you don't already know, pull back on the axis lock and it springs open. And we got for size a smaller one, the Kershaw Launch 13. By far a smaller blade. Not so much in length, because if you put it end to end, you get about 3/4 of an inch longer overall on the Stitch. But this is an amazingly lighter knife. This is in the 2-ounce range. It is crazy light. Both button locks, auto openers. What else can we look at here? Nice jimping in the finger choil. Keeps you from slipping. We've got a finger choil and a sharpening choil, which is interesting. And yeah, it does reduce your edge, but I think 3 inches of useful edge is not bad. You've got all kinds of reach if you hold it back here on the handle, and you still have a pommel for glass breaking, skull crushing, although it's not a purpose designed glass breaker. You do have your lanyard hole. Textured, very nicely textured. You're not going anywhere on that handle. Aluminum handle. I hadn't been a fan of aluminum handles, but whatever they coat this with, it's very dull, but it doesn't have that chalkiness to it that I associate with some of the earlier aluminum handle button knives. You can see that texture. 4 screws holding it together. Barrel spacers. Just really heavy duty construction. Ergos, you have such mild finger grooves that they're not going to constrain you. It's a comfortable knife, whether you choose to hold it here, or put your thumb on top. You're going to get a little bit of your thumb on top of the handle if you stay back, and you get all of your thumb right in that ramp right there by choking up. A beautiful blade. Kudos to the designers. They don't come cheap. You can look up prices, but Microtech pretty much holds to MSRP. They don't allow anybody to charge less in discount. I'm sure there's going to be people charging more, and especially private sales, where these could get jacked up a few $100s. So you can look them up as far as the price goes. I'm not going to throw any prices out at this time on this one. But thanks for watching. Again, Never thought I'd have a GRAIL knife, but this is the one that's coming close at this point. Hits all of the, checks all the boxes, shall we say, for just about every use. EDC, tactical, what have you. Useful auto. Odd looking blade shape, but highly useful. So if you like this video, give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe. I've got some other goodies on the way. This Old Sword, signing out.